2nd of January, Rabbi Moore, Parsha, Hashavua, Bo. I'm delayed for a minute. Go ahead and start without me, please.
Okay. Now, where are we?
Okay. So the moment just the two of us, Mayor.
Okay. Yeah, Yechiel was here. I guess he stepped out too. Okay.
Let's go. First,
So we'll start with Bo.
Right.
It was a very interesting Parsha for me.
Because
It was the first time I ever spoke in front of a congregation.
oh yeah,
Well,
what was
I
the
don't.
occasion?
Do you remember the Jewish Defense League?
Yes.
Okay, so a rabbi gave a drush stating to the effect that the Jewish Defense League was not doing things properly. That's not how they should act.
Okay.
And I went up to him after shul. It was a Friday night, you know. Matter of fact, I think on the reception line, I quickly spoke to him. I said, you know, I don't agree with you. I think what the Jewish Defense League is doing is proper. And I used this, I don't know if it was the Parsha of the week, but I used this Parsha to show that Hashem commanded Moshe that he should come before Pharaoh, which means he should act, Jews should act in their own defense. You know, they should be active about defending themselves.
Depends what. Let's not go into it anyway.
Okay, yeah, that's politics.
The way I understood that what was objectionable about the first Jewish Defense League was their use of or willingness to use violence, military, paramilitary methods,
right,
to protect the Jewish people, which is a very big question. Whether that is
right. Well, I didn't agree
it's
with
permitted, number one, and number two, whether it's something advisable.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I do agree with you, but my concept is that we should be able to defend ourselves. How is another.
Okay. So
you know,
let's say having protective, say vigilante patrols, right?
Mhm.
That is the something which is perfectly in order, right? I mean, they have it here. I mean, some is it's done officially through the police and the army or whatever, and other times it's done by, community auspices. But for protection purposes, it's certainly not a problem.
Right. Right.
Okay, let's go. Pasuk, let's go start the Parsha. Chapter Yud, Pasuk Aleph, being a Parsha's boy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There was a group in New York called the Guardian Angels. Okay. Bo. Vayomer Hashem El Moshe, Bo El Paro, Ki Ani Hichbaditi Et Libo, V'et Lev Avadav, Leman Shiti Ototai Ela Birkirbo. Okay, so Hashem said to Moshe, come to Paro because I hardened his heart.
So now you translate come to Paro. More accurately should go enter. Enter to Paro.
Yeah, I've also seen some translations go to Paro. But,
yeah.
Okay.
In fact, actually, I translated because you normally when you say come to Paro means you don't come to. You come here. You mean you can't say come to, but you come to where. In other words, if you're standing over there and I say come to me, right? But
Right.
generally, if you are standing a certain place and you, Kodesh Baruch Hu is commanding to go somewhere else, you say, go there, okay? Not come there, okay? So, but if you look in the Targum, I mentioned this last week, already, all, so the translator, the Targum translates, Vayom Hashem El Moshe, all levas paro.
Right.
Which means
Right.
enter into Paro. So in other words, enter Paro's palace.
Mhm.
Enter into Paro's presence. That's what it literally means. Still, the best way of expressing it in English in Achnami is with saying go to Paro. But it means enter Paro's presence.
Mhm.
Okay? Kiani, carry on.
Kani hichbaditi, I made hard his heart.
Okay.
And the et lev avadav, and the heart of his servants. Okay, Laman shiti ototai El Abir kirbo. In order, what shiti is?
To place.
Oh, to place my signs.
These signs of mine.
Of mine. In his midst.
Right.
Okay, within.
Yeah, it's interesting how the term used Eile, because the word Eile seems to be a bit superfluous. Should say Leman Shisi Osisai Bakirboy. What's the word Eile?
Is it for emphasis?
I don't know, but generally, just like you have in a singular, you say Zeh, and Zeh is referring, pointing to something. This.
Oh, you're pointing, right?
Something virtual, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in the plural, the Chayra Eilet fulfills the same purpose, same function.
It's a pointer. Okay.
It's a pointer, but I'm not sure. I don't see the Mefarshim speak about it over here.
No.
Yeah. There's also,
Rashi.
by the way, how did you translate Hichbadati es liboy?
I hardened.
Okay, so there's two words. Sometimes the pasuk uses Hechzakti or Vayachazek Hashem. That means to strengthen. Hichbadati means literally to make heavy.
To make
Hichbadati es liboy. I've made his heart heavy.
Uh-huh.
So how do you understand, what does that mean? So I heard from my Rebbe, Moshe Shapira, Zechariah Bracha, that Lemaisa, as one knows, this is a very basic, I don't think I would say even it's not really Kabbalistic, it's even less than Kabbalistic. There's a person has basically three major parts of his personality, let's call it this way. Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama.
Mm-hmm.
The nefesh is his more material side. Okay, animals also have a nefesh. Means any living being has a nefesh. Then there's the person that's on the lower end, his material side.
Okay.
On his spiritual side, he has a neshama. The neshama is considered a chelek elokam ima. Part of, in other words, it's the spirit which is instilled into him by Kodesh Baruch Hu. By the pasuk says, "Vayipach ba'apa." Kodesh Baruch Hu blew into Adam Rishon. Nefesh. What's the question? Nishmas ruach chai. Neshama of the spirit of life. Okay, so therefore a person has a neshama. Derech Agav, all human beings have a neshama, but the Jews, Yidden, Klal Yisrael, have a different type of neshama than the non-Jews. Chaim Volozhiner speaks about this in Nefesh HaChaim. I can't go into it. It's definitely Kabbalistic concepts, which I prefer not to go into now. But anyway,
Okay.
Jews have a different kind of neshama than Goy. Okay, and then there's Ruach as well. What's Ruach?
Ruach.
Ruach is like Shamshon Fal Hirsch explains that Ruach is just like a wind. A wind is not something which is substantial. It's not something a solid thing. Rach means a wind, just like wind means really it's movement. It's movement of place. When the wind blows, it's really creating movement, a force creating movement. So now, representative of those three chalokim of a person, nefesh, ruach, and neshama, person has three major organs in the body. There's the brain. That is the seat of a neshama.
Oh.
That's where the neshama is seated. That's a person's intelligence, and that differentiates a person from an animal. Animal does not on the same level of intelligence as a human being. Okay, that's the neshama. Neshama, the seat of the neshama is in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, opposite the seat of the nefesh, which is something the human, shall we say, the physical being of a human person, that is in the koved. That's in the liver. That's why Chazal say koved is entirely made up of blood. It's really one big chunk of blood. And that reminds its function is to purify the blood. But the point is that the koved is the part of the body which is really the most material, that was really the symbol of a person's material being. That's why it's called koved, which means heavy. It's weighing a person down on earth. Okay, that's why it's called koved. Okay, and the ruach is in the person's heart. Basically, the way Moshe explained it was, the person has, on the one hand, the spiritual side represented by his neshama, in a brain, his intelligence. Then he has a material side. The person has material lusts, material desires. Okay, that's represented by the koved. Okay, that's his nefesh. And the two of them, shall we say, meet, or best way of saying it, alternate between each other. Who's going to win over? That takes place in the person's heart. And that's why we say person has a yetzer hara and a yetzer tov. Basically is the yetzer hara is a person's materialism, trying to have him act as like purely as an animal. Okay, his material desires. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have the neshama, which is a person drawing a person to be spiritual, to connect to the source of the neshama, to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the place where they interact, maybe that's a better way of saying it, interact is the heart. That's where the ruach is. So the nefesh is in the koved, the ruach is in the leiv, and the neshama is in the moyach, is in the brain. So shout in the Parsha when it says, meaning a person technically, even the Paro, who was a non-Jew, right? He also had a nefesh, ruach, and neshama. Now, technically, his leiv, where he was having this inner battle, whether to listen to Hashem or not, okay, was basically, there was like an equal pull or equal altercation between the neshama, which wanted to draw him to listen to Hashem, to take the lesson. He used his intelligence to take the lesson and listen to Hashem and let the Jewish people go. And on the other hand, he had his material side to him, represented by the nefesh, and that was drawing him to, no, I'm losing out materially if I let the Jewish people go. And as if I don't use my intelligence, means by merely using my material desires, I want the Jewish people to stay. So technically, now at this point, Paro was at a point and that left on his own, he would have let the Jewish people go. But HaKadosh was I made the koved side, the liver side of him, meaning his material side, stronger in order that he should not let the Jewish people go. In other words, Kosh Baruch Hu made the material side stronger and the spiritual side weaker, or the intellectual side weaker, that thereby Paro would not think intelligently and intellectually, and as a result of that, he wouldn't let the Jewish people go. How could HaKadosh Baruch Hu do that? That person has free choice. That is Yodua. The Rambam says that a person, if he sinned enough, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu becomes a puppet in the hand of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes the opportunity of free will, the ability of free will, takes it away from the person to a certain extent. I emphasize the words to a certain extent, because his sense of free will is not entirely taken away from him. But to a certain extent, his element of free will is taken away, and therefore now he becomes like a puppet in the hand of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what it means. Why? Because now I want to use the Egyptians as a puppet, because I want to show the extent of my ability to perform miracles, that how much I'm in control of the whole creation, in order that, as the next passage is going to tell us, in order this is to teach a lesson to the Jewish people, not so much the Egyptians, but to teach a lesson to the Jewish people that Kosh Baruch Hu is in charge of everything, and therefore prepare yourselves for the Geula, because you're going to have strong faith in me, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have strong faith in me to be able to go out of Egypt.
Mm.
Okay? Yeah.
Right.
Let's see the Rashi here.
Okay, so Rashi says, on Vayomer Hashem El Moshe Bo El Paro, the Hatre Vo,
The Hitrabo, and
the
warn
Hisra.
him. Because the Pasuk doesn't say, it just says Bo Paro. It doesn't tell him what he's supposed to tell Paro. If you look in this Pasuk and the next Pasuk, it doesn't say what you're supposed to tell him. Paro and what? Doesn't say. So Rashi says that self-understood. Go enter to Paro, the Hisra, and warn him that I'm going to bring more plagues upon the Egyptians. Okay. Next Rashi.
Okay, next Rashi.
Who have to do?
It says, Shiti. Okay. So that's what I will give, I guess.
I will place.
Place, I'm sorry. Okay, oh yeah, it says,
Simi.
Sumi.
Simi. The man Simi. That's what I have here. She is Simi. She'oshis ani.
Yeah, he has
This is what's called, Rashi come a number of times in the Torah, it's a gerund form, as in order of my placing my signs, these signs of mine in his midst. But my placing not in the sense of a placing being a noun, but being a gerund verb. She'osh, that's what Rashi says. Man shisi she'oshisani, that I shall place my signs, these signs of mine, Bekirbo, in his midst.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to stop here. Today's Erev Rosh Chodesh. I almost forgot about it.
Oh, I didn't
I have to stop here. And Be'ez Hashem tomorrow, we'll carry on. Lou, you'll be able to first up to bat.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, be well.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Have a good Chodesh.
Good Chodesh. Be well.
Chodesh.
Bye now.